You're a fucking...
The play begins at Rue's house, at Rue's father's wake. Although this is a theatrical production, Levinson will film many of these scenes as if they were part of the show. However, the techniques he uses to film these moments differ from normal series cinematography. The opening shot, for example, features a title screen fade and camera pan reminiscent of more classic cinema. We're not quite sure what's going on here, but there it is. Lexi reads a poem to Rue in her room as she ponders how the two will soon drift apart. At this time, we become aware of the school audience. They themselves now realize that they are watching a play about them. Lexi then introduces the cast, which alternates for Lexi, Cassie, Maddie, Kat, and Rue. Each of them looks uncomfortably from a mostly unresponsive audience. We then get a narration from Rue, indicating that we have returned to Rue's narration and thus we are back in show business, and not in the world of Lexi's play which mirrors show business. Rue tells us that Lexi and Fez have been texting each other every day and we learn that Fez will be attending the function. Fez's story continues throughout the course of the play, from which we continually see an empty seat in the audience. Fez is shown preparing for the play several times throughout the episode. As she gets dressed, Custer walks over and places his cell phone on the table, appearing to record. He and Faye exchange knowing glances. Ashtray finally realizes something is wrong and grabs a razor and sits across from Custer. As the play progresses, the audience seems to be responding more positively. Lexi takes the audience through her prepubescent years, expressing her jealousy at the time of Cassie's own pubescent changes. On stage, we often see Cassie and her own stunt double switch places, usually before a mirror shot or other visual stitches. The motif will continue throughout the production. We see Lexi and Rue on a roof before freshman year, during which time Lexi reflects on a friendship that she now believes has changed forever. Rue watches the scene wistfully. We also see flashbacks of Cassie and Lexi's father, who at one point drives the two of them while he is drunk. He also dances with the family, a scene that both Cassie and her mother watch while smiling. Rue's narration reappears to update us on her and Jules. He says that he hasn't spoken to her since her intervention, although he still sees her at school. They are both awkward, though neither seem angry with each other. In the bathroom, between classes, it seems that Jules is about to cry. We then see Rue sitting with her mother, who tells Rue that she has given up. If Rue wants to do drugs and die, she will no longer exert energy to stop her. Rue thinks this is funny, but she is ultimately hurt by her mother's defeatism. Her mother explains how she is doing poorly in school and if she has to choose between losing one or two daughters, she will focus on Ja. Rue says that she understands and recognizes that as she gets closer to 18, she will have to take care of herself. Meanwhile, in the play, the character of Maddie takes center stage. Lexi explains how she never trusted Maddie, who always seemed too sure of herself. However, we later found out that Maddie came to stay with Cassie and Lexi after there was trouble at home, and Lexi realized that Maddie wasn't as confident as she had thought. One night she slept in Cassie's bed and started crying. We then cut to Cassie's bathroom. These scenes are not in the play. After Rue tells the group about Cassie and Nate, Maddie bangs on the door crying and saying that Cassie ruined her friendship. Later in the episode, we see Maddie and the mother she cares for having a conversation about moving on. Maddie says that she is about to do something that will break his heart. When she is asked if she really wants to stay in town, she says no. Maybe Maddie is about to leave Nate for good and go to college out of state. We don't know about this yet. At the play, Cassie leaves and goes to the bathroom crying. She reflects on her time with Nate, to whom she has fully committed herself, despite outside judgments. Meanwhile, Nate is doing his own reflection of himself as he sees himself as Ethan on stage. He thinks of Cassie as Jules, seeing himself as her father abusing Jules like he did in the tape. Later we see Jules burning the tape. The memory turns out to be a dream, and Nate wakes up next to Cassie, during a moment leading up to the play. In In the final scene before intermission, Ethan and a group of boys dressed as football players have an openly gay dialogue before starting a dance number. The moment of the play has the greatest reception from the crowd that begins to scream. Nate sits uncomfortably as the crowd laughs. Maddie, who we see in another flashback unwrapping a present from her babysitter, the dress she's secretly been trying on, and something of a reenactment of her high school dropout, and Nate seems to be enjoying the gay football scene more.